Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Federal Postal Judge Mitchell Smith, period. I use a colon in my name to create a prepositional phrase. I use a hyphen to make my Mitchell Smith a compound fact. And I end the structured sentence with a period. So it's for the Mitchell of the Smith family. So as most of you know, I have recently been falsely arrested. They tried to hide my arrest, but thankfully, for some very skillful and determined friends, they found me. I had an informant in the judge's chambers for years. So some of you may be asking, how did you become a judge? I learned from the informant. I know how they think. I know how they speak. I know how they act. I know their inner workings from the inside. Then came the day where she explained to me that they were going to push my human offspring to near death in order to make me look crazy. With this information, I was able to stay ahead of them at every angle. I got one of their psychological evaluations. Passed. Nothing wrong. So the person giving the psychological evaluation, Dr. Colon, because he couldn't come up with anything against me, he used future tense adverbs in the report. It is illegal to use future tense adverbs in any legal document. Because I have never harmed my children, he put in the report that he may harm them in the future. What they were doing is they were setting that up so that once the judges push my children to my human offspring to near death, it would upset me and maybe I would lash out at the children. This didn't happen, but then they could say, if it did, they could say, look, we said it in the report. Unfortunately, I'm reading and writing at a level 29. For those of you that don't understand what that is, a doctor's degree is at level 20. A college graduate is level 16. A high school graduate is level 12. Now, I never really knew how intelligent I was, but because I had an informant in the judge's chambers, she alerted me that former judge imposter Jill C. Fannin from the Martinez Courthouse at 751 Pine Street in Martinez labeled me as a mastermind. I didn't know this at the time, but I do now. And why I was able to stay ahead of them at every level. So I haven't seen my children in about a month. Police decided to try to falsely arrest me on my last visit, so I didn't get to see them. I haven't had any contact. I've texted, I've phoned. I get no response. So today was my scheduled visit. Of course, to try to frustrate me, they have it. It was a setup. I knew it would be. I knew they would try to arrest me because I don't have a driver's license. So if I showed up in my car, they would try to arrest me for driving my car. So I took Uber. Sure enough, they weren't there. There was an agent waiting up at the street. I spotted her. I can spot them easily now. They pushed my human offspring to near death for the simple reason to try to steal my property. So they have completely stolen 3 properties at this point. One on Springbrook in Oakley, one on Lariat in Oakley, and one on Crockett Lane in Oakley. I can tell it's only a matter of time. Everywhere I go, there's agents following me. Why? Because I have 4 judges and 1 commissioner on attempted murder of multiple human offspring. And what do they have on me? These 5 judges had Department of Justice sent a strike force team to arrest me and give me a 5-year sentence because I told the lawyer to get right with God. And stop torturing my children. My human offspring, not my children. They gave me a 5-year sentence for this. But since I sentexed the district attorney's oath of office and found it to be false and misleading, I now have the district attorneys sign confession for the criminal activity that they're perpetrating on the American people and the people of the public. So now at this point, I'm charging publicly former judge imposter Jill C. Fannin, Anita Santos, Judge Cram, Judy Johnson, and Commissioner Kathleen Murphy, which I went to the Secretary of State, and she has no oath of office. I have syntexed all the judges that I have just mentioned I've syntaxed their oath of office. It's written in bastardized grammar and fraudulent language, so it means nothing. So they are not a judge. And I'm charging them publicly with attempted murder of my children, of my human offspring, not my children. So now I'm going to call the local police department for help with visitation. The last time I did this, they arrested me.
You've reached the Oakland Police Department Records Bureau. If this is an emergency, please dial 911.
So, what I'm going to do at this point is, because I've already went and visually observed an agent waiting up the street, and because this is my scheduled visitation, and the last time I went to the police department, the local Oakley Police Department, the then Captain Eric Christensen, which is now the chief, had six of his deputies surround me, arrest me, steal my car. I'm going to call 911, and I'm calling in the state police. Yes, I'm calling in the assistance of a state police officer. My name is Federal Postal Judge Mitchel Smith. I have recently been arrested. I have recently been fraudulently arrested, and my name was hidden, and it was hard for people to find me, and agents have been following me. And now I'm trying to pick up my children, and I just went there, and they're not there, and there were undercover agents waiting for me. Undercover agents have been following me everywhere I go.
Okay, where are you?
I am at 5769 Lone Tree Way in Antioch, California.
Is that a business?
This is the Target in Antioch.
Are you in a car?
I am just waiting.
Okay, are you on foot or in a vehicle?
Foot.
Okay, what color jacket or shirt are you wearing?
Green.
In the front of the building?
Yes.
Okay, hold on for a second, please.
For those of you that are just tuning in, I just called 911 and I'm calling in the state police. I know they're going to try to come up with some way to arrest me again.
What's your last name?
My name is Federal Postal Judge Mitchell Smith, period.
So Mitchell Smith would be your last name? All right.
It's Mitchell Smith, period.
Okay. So how do you spell SoCon?
It's like the digital time, the two little dots.
I don't know what that is.
That's a prepositional phrase.
Okay. So how do you spell it?
It's Mitchell
Okay,
hyphen.
I'll make up my own spelling. What's your first name?
It's Mitchell Smith, period.
Okay, so
It's Mitchell Smith, period. I use a in my name to create a prepositional phrase. I use a hyphen to make my Mitchell Smith a compound fact, and then I end it with a period.
Okay, I'll have someone come out and talk to you, sir.
I'm asking for a state police officer, ma'am.
Okay, well, I can send you an Antioch police officer.
No, I'm not asking for an Antioch police officer. Listen, ma'am.
I don't know how to get a hold of a state officer. You're going to get what officer I send to you, sir.
Ma'am, I'm asking for a state police officer. The last time I asked, are you still there? So this is 911. The last time the police officer came out for my visitation, I was arrested. Unbelievable. Oh, fuck.
This is Nicole. Can I help you?
Is this 911?
Yes, it is.
I'm asking for a state police officer. The last time,
Right. We can't send you a state police officer, sir,
why not?
because we aren't the state police. We're city police only.
How do I get a hold of the state police?
I have no idea, unfortunately.
The last time that I called the local police for help with visitation, I was arrested. I was fraudulently arrested. They arrested me and stole my car. And when I went to the captain, Eric Christensen of the Oakley Police Department, and asked him, "Why did you arrest me when I just came in for visitation and I told you that a gang of guys was trying to overtake my land?" Because I wrote him an email and he didn't respond. Terrorized my neighborhood.
Okay, sir, that's
No,
Oakley
no.
Police Department separate from where you're calling right now. This is Antioch.
Listen, let me finish. Please don't interrupt me, ma'am.
I can interrupt you if I want to, because I'm 911, so I have to get to the point of what you're reporting.
I am reporting fraudulent activity. I asked him, "Why did you arrest me?" And he told me, "I'm going to teach you to live in society." Okay? Why is this possible? I had my home trying to be overtaken at 1 a.m. by a gang of guys sent by the criminal activity from David P. Beaver, law officers of Walnut Creek. They tried to scare me out of my house. It traumatized my neighbors. The captain did absolutely nothing. And when I came in to talk to him about that, he arrested me and told me he was going to teach me to live in society. And I told him I was going to teach him to live in humanity. Homeland Security Department of the 5 judges have attempted murder on my multiple human offspring. I had an informant in the judge's chambers telling me they were going to do this. So they had Department of Justice arrest me and give me a 5-year sentence because I told a lawyer to get right with God and stop torturing my children.
Well, that was probably the wrong approach.
Probably the wrong approach. That's what you have to say, ma'am.
Calling a judge or a lawyer or something like that is probably the wrong way to go about it. There was probably a better way to convey that.
They committed multiple federal felonies. And I'm proving these federal felonies with a forensic analysis from the crime lab that the lawyer committed a federal felony. Judge's response? I'm not a criminal lawyer. I proved that the lawyer committed premeditated public child abuse. Documented. Judge Anita Santos? Response? I'm not a judge qualified for child abuse. What the hell are they good for if they can't help me when they're committing federal felonies and child abuse? My daughter's depicting suicide at 6 years old. They're laughing in my face. I've told 5 judges that my daughter's depicting suicide. They will do nothing about it.
Okay, well, so the judges don't investigate that, so that's not the right avenue for that.
Yeah, don't tell the judge about federal felonies and child abuse because they just won't do anything about it. But they will send Department of Justice a strike force team to arrest me for telling the lawyer to get right with God, though. Boy, they'll do that in a second. I've got them on attempted murder, and they've got me because I told the lawyer to get right with God. You're looking like a complete buffoon right now, ma'am. I'm calling 911, and you're not even helping me.
Okay, well, I don't look like a buffoon, so I'm not sure why you would think that. Hey, still there?
I'm here, ma'am.
Okay, so what did you need to actually report to the Indiana Police Department that occurred limits today?
I'm trying to see my human offspring, but they're not there. And there were agents waiting up the street.
Okay, well, where is that at?
That's at my ex-wife's house
And where's that?
in Oakley.
Okay, so whatever you need assistance from is going to have to be from the Oakley Police Department. Would you like me to transfer them to you?
The last time they arrested me, ma'am, and they stole my car.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that. They're going to have to be the ones to assist you in Oakley. There is no other option, unfortunately.
All right, transfer me to the Oakley Police Department.
Okay, hold on just a moment. Actually, hold on just 1 second for me.
Okay. Completely useless.
Okay, hold on just a second. Tell them that I'm transferring you, okay?
Thank you.
Hey, it's Annie. I'm transferring. This gentleman wants to speak to somebody regarding a possible child custody issue in Oakley. All right, thanks. What's the address?
2304 Crockett Lane.
Yeah, what's going on there?
It's my visitation, and I went there and no one is answering.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, where are you at right now?
I'm at Antioch Target.
Okay, so you went to Crockett Lane to get your child and...
There was no answer.
Okay, so you want to report like a violation of a custody issue or...
I'm hoping you could call her and that I could just...
So are you supposed to have the kid? Is there a quota for you to have the kid?
Yes.
Okay, and so that's a violation of a custody order. What is your name and number? I'll have an officer contact you.
My name is Federal Postal Judge Mitchel -Smith, period.
Okay, let's go again. Spell the last name?
It's Mitchel -Smith, period.
Okay, well, you're going to have to spell it for me because I don't know how to spell some of those words.
What words don't you know how to spell?
What's the first thing you said?
A faux colon. That's a prepositional phrase. It's like the digital time. It's punctuation.
Okay, so
It's just two little dots.
colon, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's a faux colon.
Okay. Full colon, okay, and then what's after that?
Uppercase M, lowercase, all the rest, ITCHEL.
Okay.
Hyphen, which is a dash.
Uh-huh.
Smith, capital S, all rest lowercase, MITH, SMITH.
Do you have a first name or?
I just gave it to you, sir.
Okay, what is your telephone number?
The telephone number that I'm calling you from.
You don't know it or?
I just got this phone.
Alright, let me have
Do you need it?
an officer give you a call.
Do you have it?
Yeah, let me have an officer give you a call.
Thank you. I apologize to everybody for this. They attempted to arrest me this morning. I know if I showed up in my car, they would have arrested me because I have no driver's license. I have no driver's license because the imposter commissioner, Kathleen Murphy, that does not have an oath of office, made my child support payments 3 times my monthly income. So it was impossible for me to pay. So they took my license away to make me look like I don't have a license. I had nothing wrong with my license. They took away my contractor's license. I was making $150,000 a week. But they take your contractor's license away, so now I just have to find work wherever I can by cash. They have pushed my children to near death just to steal my property. I have proven over and over that they stole them all 3 of my properties with 100% fraud. And you heard 911. She was yelling at me. Why? Because she wanted me to just say my regular name, right? And when you say your regular name, they automatically lock you into your all capital name. If you don't punctuate your name, whenever you say it, it's automatically locked into your straw man. And when you won't let them do that, you seen how frustrated she got. She knew my name. I told it to her. She doesn't have, she tried to act stupid. You can't act stupid around me. It's very important to punctuate your name. They'll keep asking you. They'll keep asking you over and over until you do it. They'll try to break you down. She heard me say Mitchell Smith. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. She didn't even know what a prepositional phrase was. She didn't even know what a focolon was. This is because we haven't been taught past a second grade reading and writing level or a fiction level, for the simple reason so that they could easily just strip us in court. It was all a setup, and I knew it was a setup. That's why I took Uber. I knew it. I seen her waiting. There was an agent waiting, and no one was there. They try to frustrate you to commit a crime. It's frustrating as hell. I haven't seen my kids or contacted them in a month. Why? Because they fraudulently arrested me on my visitation when I was going to pick them up. I've had no contact. I was the main caretaker of my children for their entire life. I was assistant director to their school. I was parent of the year. I've taught thousands of parents, teachers, and human offspring. And ever since day one, when I told the judge that if you take the children away from the main caretaker, it will cause permanent psychological damage. Former Judge Imposter Jill C. Fannon's response? Yeah, I know. And she proceeded to give me like 2 hours a month. Here we are 5 years later. I'm all the way up to 1%. It has completely mentally destroyed my children and myself. It has pushed them to near death on multiple occasions, documented. My son's mind, from the pressure, popped right in front of me. He had to be rushed to emergency. When the emergency doctor and all the emergency staff figured out what was going on, they diagnosed him with emotional stress. They were trembling. Nobody said nothing. They just kept it, they hide it all. I've turned in multiple papers with my daughter depicting suicide at 6 years old. They won't accept it. I can't believe that my ex-wife would allow this. It has put so much stress on her to do this. She's doubled her weight. I don't even recognize her. What she's doing to our human offspring and us is unbelievable. I'm no longer going to allow this to happen. We're going to start making family court cases transparent so that they can no longer hide this. There's no longer going to be anything relating to a gag order. This is how they hide everything. All district judges, they're not even judges. They're all tricking you. All of their oaths of office, are written in fraudulent, bastardized grammar, which mean nothing. So that's why they can get away with anything they want, because their oath doesn't hold them accountable. What makes me such a threat? I am the chief federal judge of the California territory. My oath of office is correct, written in parse syntax grammar, in prepositional phrases. So I'm responsible. I'm honest and correct to the public. They won't even let me in the courtroom for years. I'm starting riots in the courtroom, where they got to call out like 6 to 8 bailiffs. They have like 25 to 50 women screaming and crying when I'm just up there telling what's going on. And I play my daughter when she was depicting suicide. People say, what does that mean, depict suicide? She would lie in my arms and say, Daddy, I cannot control myself. I am in so much pain that I just want to die and leave this world. As she twists and bends, I am charging the sheriff of Contra Costa County with covering up the attempted murder of multiple human offspring and distributing false and misleading documents, which is Title 15, Section 1692E. False and misleading statements carries a $25 million fine and 30 years in prison. Title 18, Section 242, deprivation of rights under coloring of the laws. Here's the police department. This is Federal Postal Judge Mitchel -Smith, period. Who am I speaking to? Yes, I'm having an issue with visitation.
Okay, where you at?
I'm in Antioch.
Yeah, we're at Antioch. I'm at Sunset right now. It's cold, but you're not.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
I said I'm at Target right now. You said you were, but you're not here. Where are you?
Where are you at?
I'm in front of Target.
You're in
Where
front
are
of
you?
You're in front of Target?
Yes.
Okay, I'm nearby. I'll walk to you.
Hey, bro, where are you?
I'm at the Target in Antioch.